Hello, lovely Benites. This is Nigel Jojo Bach. Out here back decking it. The wind has cut down quite a bit, but it's still breezy. I made the mistake I broadcasted live for a couple hours this morning with the camera scrolling through to show the wind from different angles around the house. And I had on there tornado warning till 2 p.m. And somebody in the comments on Twitter wrote a tornado warning wouldn't last that long. So it was a tornado watch, you fuck.
Tell me who they were and I'll go and I'll beat them up.
Well, they were actually right, so I don't mind being corrected when the person's right and they're not just voicing an opinion. But, oh, look, there's Mrs. Bacon's head right there. Oh, well, hang on. How do I heal it?
What are you trying to do? Crush my head?
Sorry, isn't she beautiful over there? No, I feel a little more of her. Oh my God. Question is, braless or not?
No. So I'm on page 234.
Janaea Ma Biggins is on 234 of her book she picked up yesterday. Game of Thrones Blood Fire.
Fire and Blood. Which is all about the Targaryens.
Sounds like what will be going on next weekend. Well, in 3 weekends next door. Them bastards.
It's talking about King Jaehaerys now, which was the father of Varys and Daemon. So.
Whose wife was a whore. The mother was a whore, he called her. I saw a meme on that today.
What, Jaehaerys' mother?
Well, the king called somebody. I don't know. She is amazing. Look at her over there. Oh, she's waving her headband. I won't let her cut her hair until Bad Ben 14's done. Of course. I just start broadcasting. Here comes the turkey. We have a pet turkey now.
Come on, babies.
You think Sable? You think Sable hates the turkey? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Peaceful 352. I purposely, a couple years ago, removed the wood from the bottom of this back deck screening so that we could see out. Now I'm thinking about closing it in so we can't. Sable loses her mind when she sees the turkeys. Good evening, Ronnie. Are you dried out yet? We had a ton of wind today, and we had rain, but not as much rain as we had yesterday. Now it's basically over, and tomorrow's supposed to be sunny. Last night's 9 o'clock broadcast was interesting, and I've actually begun analyzing the footage, and I have a wrap up that I'll show, but I won't show it tonight because I didn't finish it. But we heard voices on the outside camera. Well, it's hurricanes are usually September, October, Octoberish. Yeah, the show was interesting last night. There was something unexplainable, I will say. Here's the turkey. He loves our backyard because there's tons of bird seed back there, and he drives Sable nuts. So it's kind of weird entering a weekend with no Game of Thrones Sunday night. But Ronnie, did you know that a new show is coming out? Uh, a new Game of Thrones series is two things, two Game of Thrones series news. Today, Holly said she heard there's going to be 4 seasons of House of Dragon, and the one that's coming out in 2025, I think, is called Prince of the Seven Kingdoms or something like that. So we'll see if they do as good a job with that as they did with House of Dragon. I'll be happy. Stranger Things comes back for its final season next year. Yeah, Damon getting back to normal was about the best part of the season finale, but other than that, the season finale was basically a setup for next year. The guy that plays the one-eyed prince, he I think it's still there. Amen. Yes. Now I think it was still outside the fence.
I thought it was gone. Sorry. Come on, baby.
Now all these people speculate on the um, internet, making comments, social media posts about this or that. Sable, get in the house. Good girl. And people say he's not a general of the White Knights or the Whites in the Whites Army because none of them have only one eye. But every time Aemon's eye patch is off, it's like one of those blue eyes of the Whites. White Walkers, thank you. So early this morning, Mrs. Biggins was tired, so I went out on my own with the dogs. And Sable was all excited because she got to sit in the front seat. So it's windy out. The good thing is it didn't get above 80 today, but it was sunny and windy earlier, but like overcast. And I got to mow the back lawn in the backyard. Somebody else, no tornadoes. Nope. We don't get tornadoes here. I've never seen a tornado here. Although the city next to us, they said, had a tornado. It's been while I've lived here. It just ripped an awning off a business. And they also, out in the bay out there, had a water spout, which is a tornado over the water, or water, depending on where you're from. How's Bill? Hi, Laura. Hi, Kaylee. Hey, Phil. Hey, Will. Did you guys all get to watch last night? I know Will was in there. Phil says he's been watching on Bad Ben TV. When I was analyzing the footage today, it was definitely what sounded like voices. If I stay awake, I guess I'll do it again at 9 tonight, but I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to do an hour and 45 minutes. That's how long that wound up. But sometimes it takes a little while to get things rolling. And I also analyzed the picture, which when I do the wrap up, which I'm all almost done, I do like a 6 minute wrap up of the broadcast. Um, and I did clean it up some, but then another idea came to me of another filter to use to try to clean it up better. So tomorrow I'll look more at that. And there's definitely something there. I think I'll have the analysis done. Ideally, what I'd like to start doing is doing those broadcasts at night and then doing the analysis the next morning for you guys to see. Well, you know what though, Ronnie? I'll be honest with you when I tell you guys too what I think is something and what isn't something. But it was quite windy out last night. So, and if you look out my backyard, if I was to show you, it's got a lot of leaves down from the wind today. So I think it might just have been wind. But the camera was having a lot of power fluctuations, which I found a little strange. And there was something over next to the desk where I sit. There's a wall, and there's two pair of boots there, and the thing said boots and something else that was relevant. It was a good night. But there was definitely, if you hear the audio, there was definitely what sounded like voices out there. And I forgot I put the cat. Well, I didn't want to go out there and get the cat balls last night because it was too creepy. And so this morning I went out to clean up or to put more squirrel food out, and I found the cat balls, and they all work. I do feel though, like right now, I don't feel like when I'm down there and I'm doing these broadcasts with the spirit talker and all, it's like static electricity. Like I feel my short hair standing up on my head and on my legs and all. Scott graduated yesterday and he's back home. So maybe soon we'll be able to have him come in and hang with us. And maybe you guys would like to have Pat back on. And everybody was serious last night. There were a couple jokesters I got rid of. But like Adam said last night, who was there, and J Lo, Adam said he got the impression there were spirits there talking to each other. Yeah, I think it was. Well, Pat is a lot of fun, and he's Scott's friend. So if he comes over, it would. I can only have Pat here if I have Scott here because Scott controls him. I'll tell you what, he was entertaining though. Funny thing is, if I go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night, I'll get up at 6 in the morning. If I go to bed at midnight, I get up at 6 in the morning. So when I do these late night broadcasts, I take a nap during the day though because I'm a baby. Hey Google, broadcast.
What's the message?
I think it's gone.
Okay, broadcasting now.
Try and get Holly to come back out. But it was definitely fascinating to watch. Yes. Look at this here. Look at this goddess. My God.
Don't knock me over, please. What?
Hey, thanks, Tom. Ronnie said hi, Hal. Did you hear her yell hi? Yeah, last night. Maybe we'll do it tonight. You'll know if I pop on at 9 o'clock. I need to get a camera over on that well, though. I wish I knew where that was. Maybe if I get. Thank you, darling. You're such a. Oh, damn. Let me watch this walk back over there. Damn. There she goes, everyone. Queen of 352.
No, you don't need to be looking at me.
Oh my God. That was just off screen, too. Tom Kelly says, hi, Nigel. Thanks for such a great show last night. It was my pleasure.
Are you doing it again tonight?
I'm thinking about it. I think the fans are demanding it.
I think so too. I know we don't talk
What?
politics. We don't talk about politics on here, but have you heard that thing, that story that he told at his press conference?
About the helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't happen at all.
I,
Not one part of the story was true.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
What don't you get?
I don't get.
Him?
Yeah. I'm not going to get no political because, I'm apolitical. Is that the word?
Yes.
But
He also said he's not doing any rallies or anything until after the DNC.
I gotta tell you, folks, like just got done saying I don't talk politics, but this guy Walls is just, he's like the uncle everybody wants. I don't know. In a mere 3 months, we could have a lady president. In fact, it could happen before then.
No,
Bec-
because of, you know him. Oh, say Archer. Archer, lay down. I know for a fact that if I take you out there, you are not gonna go.
well, this election has been, I mean, look, guys, I'll tell you, I've said this before. In any election I voted in my life, oh my God, I had my legs spread wide open. It was like a peep show. Uh, in any election I've ever voted since I was 18 years old, the first time I was able to vote was 1984. So it was for the second term of Ronald Reagan. Anybody that won for president, I think he ran against Mondale that second, yeah, because Reagan ran against Carter and won. And then Reagan ran against Mondale and won. Then George Bush ran against, wasn't it Michael Dukakis? And won. And then George H.W. Bush ran against Clinton and lost. And then Clinton ran against Bob Dole and won. I can't believe I remember all these. And then Al Gore ran against George W. Bush and lost. And then John Kerry ran against George Bush and lost. And then Obama ran against John McCain and won. And Obama ran against Mitt Romney and won. That brings us up to Clinton versus Trump. Now, in any of those elections I mentioned, I would have been, I voted one way or the other. And I didn't always vote Republican. I didn't always vote Democrat. Um, I, got to know the candidates. And in any of those elections, had the person I voted for lost, and the person I voted for in a couple elections lost, I would have been okay with who won. It wasn't my choice, but I would have been okay. But in 2016, the two choices we had, I wasn't thrilled with either of them. I couldn't believe in 2020 that Biden was the choice because I thought, look, I know many healthy 80-year-olds, but it's a demanding freaking job. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see here in November. And in 3 weeks, they're having a barbecue next door, and he is MAGA all the way. Not his whole family is, but he is. And
How about the owner of the golf club?
he's not. I'm pretty sure he leans Republican, but he's not a fan of the helicopter survivor. Kaylee says I couldn't do it. Your every move is watched. Can't even fart in peace without it being on the news. Kaylee, what's going on there?
I heard a rumor
I heard it through the grapevine.
that two people from House of Dragon are dating.
The king's wife and the king's brother. No, I think he's gay.
Matt Smith?
No, no.
You mean
Alice? No.
Alicent and Amy. So her son.
Yes.
You think she's dating her son?
Now, her daughter, who's the queen,
Yes. Helen.
and the eye
Helena?
patch.
Oh, okay.
But who's dating?
I don't know. They don't know.
I bet you it's Rhaenyra and the chick she kissed. They went down the lesbian road, but just for a
There's
brief
a lot
interlude.
of people who do Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Well, I've seen them in interviews, and they're way chummy.
They're very flirty with each other. The guy that plays Aegon is in a band. I think I already told you that.
Well, the guy that's got the eye patch, Eamon
Yeah.
and Damon,
Damon's and Damon.
is that their names?
Yeah.
Fucking.
Reading this book, all of the names, they keep repeating the names. There's like 3 different Aegons I've already read about so far. Oh, and they're doing another prequel, which is going to be Aegon's Conquest, which was the first Aegon.
Aegon the Conqueror.
Yes.
What's the show? The Prince of the Seven Kingdoms? Is that what it's called? We saw it.
A Tale of the Seven Kingdoms, I think is the name. It's about these 2 characters named Dunk and Egg.
Dunk and Egg.
Yes. Egg is, I don't know if he's supposed to be a child, he's bald,
Oh God.
and I think it's just supposed to be like a little person. See, I said the correct term.
Yes. Trying to get me canceled.
Did you know
Did you know
Tyrion.
where you're coming?
Tyrion on Game of Thrones? You know Peter Dinklage?
Right.
His nose, the character's nose was chopped off in a battle, and they just gave him a scar because they said it would have been too much to do the makeup for CGI for every scene he was going to be in.
Well, Peter Dinklage isn't a bad-looking guy. Um, I mean, he's got the physical
Yeah.
things down, but in the books, he was supposed to be hideous, right?
Yeah, but his nose was also missing, is what I'm saying.
You don't think that when you told me his nose got chopped off, I understood that meant missing?
Well, then why did you say he was hideous looking already?
This is the shit I go through. Look at her glasses reflecting. She looked like an evil cat.
Oh, thank you.
I saw your cat this morning.
Yeah.
That's not a euphemism.
I don't think she was happy that it was.
Uh,
She was part of the reason why I was up all night.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to, or when, but I think we're going to watch day 1, A Quiet Place. But we're going to have to wear our AirPods so that Sable doesn't hear the cat meow and freak out. and the cat doesn't die. The cat's
was
allegedly heroic.
That's the first thing that I looked up when I saw the clip of him with the cat and they jump in the water. And I'm like, it's a cat I know. He saves lives.
Ronnie, I think it just started streaming yesterday,
There's a
but it's available everywhere. It's on Fandango, it's on
show that's coming out.
Amazon, but you got to pay for it everywhere. And it's like $19.99 to rent and $24.99 to buy. There's a show that's coming on.
I believe it's coming on Apple. It looks interesting, but I don't remember the name of it. Did you know that Keith Olbermann
Do you know?
says the newsroom was about him? About his life? That Aaron Sorkin stole his life? Stole his story, rather.
Was that the one with Jeff Daniels? I like that show.
Even using like words that he actually said on air.
Could be. Ronnie, it's everywhere. It's on Apple TV. It's on, you'll be able to find it. Apple TV, Amazon, Fandango, Apple. Yeah, I said Apple. But the first one was released during the pandemic, so it came on Paramount.
I like the second one.
I like the second one too.
This one has nothing to do with John Krasinski, though.
He's producing it though, right?
Well, yeah, but they're doing another one that he's doing.
Is he in it?
He probably wrote it or directed it, but this one he did not.
Well, I'll tell you what I liked about the second one was when it opened, it was a flashback and it showed them when the aliens first started landing.
Yes.
They were at the baseball game.
Yes.
Now, they had to film most of the second one at the same time they filmed the first one because the kids grow a lot in 2 years. And I heard a story in The Sound of Music. The oldest boy grew 6 inches while they were filming it. So in later parts of the movie, they either had him standing in a hole or the kids standing on boxes next to him. And by the time they get back around to Stranger Things, these kids are going to be in rocking chairs.
Well, they have already filmed it, which is why I don't understand why it's not coming out till next year. They've already finished filming it, as far as I'm aware.
I think Netflix is trying to stack the deck so they have a hit next year.
Yeah, they don't have much going for it anymore. Oh, and remember, I told you now they're saying that House of the Dragon is going to be 4 seasons, not 3.
Yeah, I mentioned that while you were inside. Well, Stranger Things, we had a weird relationship with. We watched the first season, and then the second season came out, and I just couldn't get into it. And I thought I was watching the first episode of the second season, but it turns out I was watching the last episode of the first season. And then I got into it, was able to get through it. I just don't like hearing about the real life actor that plays the girl 11,
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown. She sounds like a little prima donna. But she's a hit and she's gone on, she's done more than any of them. Now, Finn Wolfhard has done a couple things, the Ghostbusters.
Harrington's got his music career.
Oh, he did Fargo too.
Yes, and he did Fargo.
I couldn't remember when he first came on. I said, "Why does that kid look familiar?"
Yep.
Because he didn't have the mullet. I know. But there are also actors I hear about, which I just, when I hear about them, I just love what I hear. I was getting a little depressed because there was rumors that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt were breaking up, but they were apparently bullshit. Well, Will, this is what I think will happen. And I don't want to get into, even though I started it, well, she started it.
That was my fault, though.
I don't want to get in political comment because I don't want to take and turn off anybody here um, but I think the party will regroup and come back with a modified platform that's more, I think they're going through a growing pain. But
You
they,
wanted me to tell you what I heard somebody predicted out.
no. Okay, I will. Well, I got to tell you, and you can find fault in all of them, but George Herbert Walker Bush was just such a nice guy. And even if you heard about the White House staff, I remember there was a black guy in particular, and there was a picture because Life magazine was still in print at the time, and there was a picture from HW's last day, and it's like he wakes up in bed and he's brought the newspaper, and he just was like this guy who was like a butler or something was had tears streaming down his face because he loved him so much and he was so nice to work for. And if you ever did you ever see the letter that George Bush Sr. wrote to President Clinton? It was unbelievable. He says, "I'll be rooting for you. You're my president now." And then after Clinton was out of office, Bush and him became friends.
Yeah.
I just can't believe Jimmy Carter's still going.
Well, jinx the poor man.
God bless him. He was at his wife's funeral, and it was tough to tell. Will says hi, Holly.
Hello.
Well, there are rumors just flying. I don't know where they come from, but well, they said Trump's going to drop out.
I'll tell you my thing that I heard.
All right.
That one of the reasons he's not going to be doing anything until after the DNC is because he's going to get on a plane and go to Russia. Seek asylum in Russia.
Huh?
Because he's afraid he's going to go to prison, and then if he goes to prison, he'll die in prison because he's old.
Well, here's the thing. Let's not talk politics, but let's talk hypothesis right now. If Donald Trump were to lose and go to Russia to seek asylum, he's going to find that he's got, hey, Adam, hey, JLo, he's going to find that without him being in power,
Yeah, they don't need him there.
he's of no value to them. I visited the Soviet Union. It was the Soviet Union when I was there for 10 days, 10-day trip. And I'll tell you, it was not, there was not a house that you would consider a nice house, except for the czars and the czarinas who had, been gone for, I don't know, at that time, 60 years or more. All their houses, hi, Deb, were turned into museums. And all the school children in the country are required to visit them once a year for history. But those were palaces like Buckingham Palace. What's up with Kate?
She's alive.
What's up with Charles?
He's alive. As the last I heard, nobody's talking about them anymore. She looked perfectly fine the last time she made an appearance out.
That to me, even though I find the royal family, like that whole thing, interesting. One of the reasons why I find it interesting is that it is a powerless group of people that are just revered by many, not everybody. There's a lot of anti monarchs, but it's just like these, like, you can't touch them, for instance, and all the pomp and circumstance associated with. But doesn't Japan still have an emperor?
That I do not know. I'm not smart
I
enough to
think.
know
Who's
that.
smart here?
I'll be right back.
Deb, did you get rain? And you had to have the wind. You didn't have the weather we had last night, you said, but you had to have the wind. So guys, you want me to do another broadcast at 9? Can you handle more? Yes, please. Thank you, Tom. Adam says, of course. And I know he echoes JLo's. Ronnie, it sounds like you need to get to bed. What the hell was that?
What? What?
Now, have you noticed Facebook is now popping into, they're feeding all these threads. They're feeding them right into the Facebook feed. They're making the new Superman, and his costume looks like, number one, it looks like it doesn't fit. Here's a picture from everything Atlantic City. On the ground, there's a condom and there is a pair of false teeth.
Oh, it's
Well,
nice.
the uppers or lowers or something. J Lo said, Phil says, please, please, please. J Lo says, absolutely.
What?
About if I should broadcast at 9.
Oh, I told you should. I got excited because I saw something on Facebook about how a meteorologist from ABC Channel 6 is leaving.
Oh, who is it?
It's the weekend one. I don't remember his name. He's
Oh, I
going
know. Chris Shower.
Yes, he's going to the south.
Well, he's been, oh, you've heard always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah.
He's been the weekend guy for 10 years, I think. There was movement. A lot of the weather people, well, a lot of the newscasters there after a while, like Shirlene Alicott, I think, left to go to New York, which is a huge move because New York is the number one market in the country. But Philadelphia is so popular because it's number 4.
I was going to say Philadelphia's got to be up there too.
Well, it's New York's number 1, LA is number 2, Chicago is number 3,
Wow.
and Philadelphia is number
I
4.
thought you were going to say number 3 was like Miami or something.
No, and I forget who 5 is, but then the market areas start getting smaller. New York was, I know Philadelphia, and this is going back like 20 years ago when I did commercials, but New York was, I mean, Pennsylvania was 4.2 million homes, which does not mean people, because like there's 2 people in this home, 2 badass motherfuckers in this house, and then there could be people that grandparents living in the household and kids, and there could be 4, 6, 8. Not that kids are watching the news, but
I remember news used to be a big thing.
well, when I was a kid, my neighbor 2 doors down, who was my best friend growing up, Lemuel, his parents refused to get cable, and they had just an antenna up on the house. So they used to get 3, 6, and 10, which was ABC, NBC, and CBS because Fox didn't exist yet. And they could get NBC 40. But they used to watch uh, Peter Jennings. It was Walter Cronkite, and then they switched over and we'll watch Peter Jennings and Jeopardy and stuff like that. But funny thing is, with that antenna, they could get something to watch constantly.
My dad used to watch local news at 6, the ABC news at 6:30, and then we would watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Well, I'll tell you, from early 2000s, like when I stopped working a regular job in 2003, 2004 on, in the morning, here was the routine. Ma would get up about before 9 because she wanted to be out there to watch Regis and Kathy Lee. And then after her, briefly, it was Wayne Brady. And then it became Rachel Ray. And then at 11,
Wayne Brady had a show.
yeah. Was it The View at 11 or was that at 1? No, because it was the news and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for a half hour, and then it was the soap operas. 3 o'clock was the one that's still on General Hospital, and I think it was it One Life to Live or All My Children.
I think All My Children lasted longer than One Life to Live.
But then they came up with the Chew, and briefly they came up with a second hour of Good Morning America that used to be on in the afternoon.
You know, they have a channel for everything. They should have a channel for like old episodes of soap operas.
Well, I think Hulu went to. Who was the one with Jennifer Lucci or
All
Susan
My
Lucci?
Children.
That went on to Hulu.
Yeah, but that was like new episodes. I'm talking about like old episodes because there's people that would watch them because